I am your host, Coach Jake. I appreciate you guys showing up. It's been a minute. Been super busy. I wasn't able to jump on yesterday. I love seeing all you guys on here. Remember, hit me up in the chat. You like what's going on, send a number one. The number one podcast is really about exploring that journey from no one to number one, right? Going from no one to number one. Hope you guys are good today. What's up, Kendo Jedi? CWO number one. I appreciate it. Van Z's, can I learn how to fight at home? Not probably very well. You can educate yourself. You can read a book. You can watch videos. That'll help you a little bit, but you got to get in a fight. And I wouldn't recommend doing it outside the confines of an agreement, consensual agreement at a gym, because you go to jail. So best thing is probably go join a gym. All right, guys, let's go here. So what am I talking about today? Okay, let's get on focus. Sorry, guys. So today's show is really about why entrepreneurs are the main drivers of economic growth. Why entrepreneurs are the drivers of economic growth, right? Now, I come from a position where I believe entrepreneurs are the most important thing. I've done a lot of shows documenting why entrepreneurs are the backbone of any economy. I think it was 62% of businesses in the United States are small businesses. I'd have to look at that stat, but I think that's right. But entrepreneurs are the people in our culture who take risks. They're not guaranteed, okay? I'm not talking these bailout motherfuckers like that happened during these economic crises. Mom and pops don't get bailed out. They close and they take risks and they create jobs. They also create innovation. They're the ones coming up with new ideas that maybe other people rip off, which I've had happen to me many, many times. But it's okay. For somebody like me, it's more about the impact than the money, although the money would be great. I'd love to be fairly compensated given how much money people have made off my ideas. But the innovation is actually what's the most important, and getting the execution on the ideas, right? Because without us, entrepreneurs, the economy would absolutely stagnate. There would be no progress. You have to have the guts to start something, right? So, myself, nobody in my family, I did not have a mentor to teach me how to be a business owner. I never had that fortunate. I didn't have mentors when I started. I just started. And I'm not the greatest wrestler on the planet. I did okay. I've wrestled some tough people. I'm more of a gym wrestler, honestly. But my quest to provide information and training and opportunities for people have taken me beyond my wildest dreams with regards to wrestling. It's also done that in finance and business. I never thought I'd have $1 million companies that I could buy and sell and all that kind of stuff. It's crazy, right? So I want to talk about why entrepreneurs are the backbone of any economy. I think fundamentally the most important thing is, sure, I've talked about ideas, but let's be real, ideas can be a dime a dozen. There's so many people that come up with ideas. The most important thing, and there's a few that I'll talk about, the most important thing that entrepreneurs do is they take action. They take action. There's a great quote by Walt Disney, who is a fantastic entrepreneur. He was an idea guy. It was his brother, I can't remember his name, that really helped Disney become what it was as a business. But there's this great quote by Disney. It says, the way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. That's what an entrepreneur does. Says, man, this needs to happen. So I'll give you an example with scientific wrestling. I was looking around in the marketplace. I wanted something. I wanted legitimate catch as catch can training for the betterment of my understanding, my personal development, my journey, my desire to be good at catch wrestling. And there was nobody there. There was a handful of kind of scam artist type guys on the fringes, but no access, no true knowledge, just a bunch of bullshit. And I saw a massive opportunity. I said, I can't be alone. There has to be other people who want this same type of thing. I'm going to put in a lot of work and a lot of money and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and nothing could come of it. I may get nothing. That's the risk. But I don't think that's true. I'm an optimist. I believe in this. And so I busted ass, created scientific wrestling. Now people can have thousands of people been able to train with Billy Robinson in person. Even more have been able to train remotely because of the instructionals and the online courses that I've created. The mace bell. Man, kettlebells were everywhere, but I could not find a mace that I could swing after I went and trained with Carl. I held his mace, tried to swing it, but it was going to take more practice than I had time with Carl. And I saw a massive hole. I said, dude, this is going to be huge. Took a risk. And here it is everywhere, man. I had a friend, he was overseas somewhere, went in and sent me a picture at a gym. He said, dude, here's one here. All over the world. So you have to really be willing to take action and not be afraid of failing, not be afraid of wasting your time, right? Because like I said, man, lots of people got ideas, but it's the entrepreneur who actually takes action and turns that idea into reality. Otherwise, you're not going to make an impact. Okay? Now, excuse me, risk-taking is a whole subject. You've got to take calculated risks. You don't want to just take dumb risks. Does that make sense? You don't take a risk, there's no reward. Now, you take a risk, there's no guarantee of reward either. So you got to be crafty. You're living by your wits if you're an entrepreneur. In confidence in yourself, being able to go and provide value to another person so much that they'll pay you money. Does that make sense? Now, if you're going to be an entrepreneur, excuse me, I got this bad cough, something in my throat. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, of course, you're going to have an idea. Yes, of course. Right? What's up, Stellar Steven? Thanks for the number one. Happy to see you, buddy. Of course, you're going to have an idea. So you can't not have an idea. So the idea is super important. Needs to be something that people are going to want. Now, for me, honestly, I believe the people that come up with the best ideas are the people who consume the most of a particular subject. So if you buy a lot of wrestling material, you might be the best person to start selling wrestling material, grappling. Does that make sense? Because you know what the market wants. You're in tune with all the products. And you're in tune with where some of the holes might be that you could fill and make some money and provide value to the market, to other people. It's absolutely crucial to have ideas. That's 100%. Now, let's say you find that idea. Now you've got to figure out how to make it happen. And the thing you have to understand, like, look at this pen. I got this stupid pen right here. No one person made this pen. There's somebody who made this little cap at the top. There's somebody who made the plastic casing. There's somebody who had to go and get the ink that goes inside. There's somebody who had to go and get the metal for the spring that allows this thing to go like that. There's somebody that had to go and sell it. Probably thousands of people just to make this fucking one pen. Right? Now, what if what you're going to make is more complicated than the pen? You're going to have to figure out how to network, how to find people, how to make best use of the division of labor. You're going to be coordinating everybody's efforts towards this, leading. This is why networking is super important. What's up, Nature Boy 10th Planet? It says, I buy eggs and I need chickens. I guess so. All right, what seller Steven say out here? Got the Soccer Robber instructional daily deal. Okay, awesome, dude. Thank you for sharing that with me. Soccer Rob is amazing. He was an inspiration for me for scientific wrestling, for example. I wanted to learn what he was doing. There was nobody teaching it that was readily available. So what did I do? I made that happen, and I found people who were interested in the same thing. And here we are 20 years later, blowing it up still, right? That's just one of my business ventures. Now, networking is huge. Okay, so first you got to get the idea. Then you've got to start networking with people. You've got to take risks. That means you might put 10,000 hours into something and it doesn't go. I've had that. I've had projects that I worked really hard on and they did not go. That's risk. A lot of people aren't willing to do that. That's why you, as an entrepreneur, make up more money on the other side if it does work out. Now, another thing that you could do to shortcut is to work with mentors. Maybe there's somebody you know that's already been there before you. That's what I do with these calls. As I try to mentor you, even though I'm not answering anything specific, but I do have clients that I do business coaching for. I've even been hired now by Grant Cardone, which is just amazing. Got to pinch myself sometimes. That guy's a total mentor of mine. And now I'm mentoring people in his methods. Did the same with Carl Gotch. He mentored me. Billy Robinson, right? You see how this goes? So you got to have an idea. Find a hole in the market. You've got to go and take a risk. You've got to network. You got to, if you really want to be efficient about it, find a mentor. And you've just always got to have a mentality where you're always looking for new opportunities, new ideas, new ways to either improve or penetrate the market deeper and have a bigger impact. Does that make any sense? So really, entrepreneurs drive the entire economy. They do. They're so crucial to everything that we do. Right? Now, I will open this up to questions for you guys. Okay? Anything's game. You can ask me anything. Otherwise, I'm a jet. Because I closed probably about 3 deals today, and I got to get the proposals and contracts signed. Well, I guess they're not actually closed until I get the deal signed. So I'm very close to closing a bunch of deals, and I got to get hustling here. But if you have questions, I'm happy to help you. Now, you guys, you're not going to get there by being uneducated, untrained. You've got to work. You've got to work, man. You've got to study. You've got to learn all that. Right? So, that would be something I really recommend. Oh, Nature Boy 10th Planet asks, what's your favorite networking strategy? Showing up, dude. Showing up. You got to go where the money's at. So it depends on what you're trying to do, but you got to get in front of the right people. So, some people just try to network with anybody. And that's a lower probability chance of working. You want to really qualify the people that you're networking with. So trade associations, networking groups specific to your industry. I do like referral marketing a lot when I've got a good group. Like, let's say, so for me, I help business owners. So I went and I became a gold level member of the Denver Metro Chamber of Commerce. It's not cheap. It's like $2,000 for that membership. You ever pay $2,000? No, some of you might have, but you ever pay $2,000 for a membership to a group just so you can go meet people? Yeah, next week I will be gone. I will be in Vegas at GrowthCon. Yeah, actually, Stellar Steven, yep. You mentioned that, dude. Thanks for reminding me. Best networking events. GrowthCon's huge. Me and my wife bought diamond tickets for GrowthCon. Do you have any idea how much money those are? They're $10,000 a piece. Okay, that's $20,000 for a 1-week event. Now, why on earth would I spend that much money? Oh my God. Because guess what? We met people, because these are high net worth people that also spent $20,000 or $10,000 a ticket each and could afford it. And so now I'm in a room with high net worth individuals and I'm able to talk business because that is the place, the largest business conference on the planet. And I've got the most expensive tickets. So I'm in the room with major players. And guess what? The business that I get from going there is way more money. The return on investment is massive. The clients that I get from going to these kind of events. Hey, what's up, Morgan? Good to see you. Nature Boy 10th Planet. Do you carry business cards? No. I do carry the dot card. Have you seen those? It's like they've got the little chip, the NFC chip, and people could tap it and your info pops up on your phone, and it's even got the QR code. If they can't figure out how to use that on their phone, you could scan it and then your information pops up. But I'm not concerned about giving people my card. I'm more concerned with getting people's information because I can give 1 million people my card, not a single one could reply or call me. But if I get their card, now I could call them. I'm in control. So just assume nobody really gives a shit about what you're doing or what you're selling and get their information. Don't assume people are going to contact you, even if they tell you they are. Don't. Right? That's how you network. Stellar Steven asked a question or said something here. Do you think Fedor could get to the second? Did you think Fedor could get to the second round against Bader? No. Fedor is a bad man, dude. Badass dude. Great fighter. But I'm telling you, I'm a 50-year-old, and I can tell you, as a 50-year-old, I know what my body could do versus when it was 25 or 30 or even 35. Wear and tear, hormonal changes, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But taking nothing from Fedor. The guy's legend, did great. He was the last of that seminal golden age of MMA. Those guys, great to see him though. Stellar Steven says, he beat me to it. Was going to ask if you use Vistaprint or cards in general. Yeah, I mean, you can get a card. It's cool. That doesn't do anything. A card, it's just spending money. Get cards with other people's info and call them. Contact them. Ask them how you can help them. Provide value. That's how you do it. It's not complicated. It's as simple as that. So, guys, entrepreneurs are absolutely the engine of economic development in this country. Without a doubt, the most important people in our culture. Okay? Because they provide jobs, they provide new products, they provide competition to keep prices down. Absolutely crucial. They innovate, they create new technology. They challenge existing businesses and make them better. Okay. Now, like I said, it takes a very special person to keep knocking on doors and pushing. And, the fact is most entrepreneurs fail. I've been doing this for 20 years in multiple venues, and some of my ventures have failed, but that's not what counts, huh? We don't really care about them. What's the Emperor Charlemagne? Do you know or have I met Osamu is who you're talking about. I guess his name's Sam. I've never met him in person. From Riley's Gym, Kyoto. No, I haven't. I know that he, I think he worked out at Miyato's gym a bit. Yeah. And the guy that I think is probably the best of just, and I spent 7 years with Billy, probably about equivalent as Miyato. And I think Miyato, outside of me, is probably the guy who knows Billy's system best. And followed by that, I would say Hideki Suzuki. And Hideki Suzuki has a fantastic book out. It's in Japanese, so I can't even tell you the title. But you'd have to look it up on maybe the Japanese Amazon using his name. Fantastic book. Those are the guys that I really believe had Billy's system best. I have no idea about Osamu. I've never seen much from him. I saw one match I think that he had with Snake Pit or whatever. He did great against that level of competition. He seems like a great guy. I don't know much about him. But yeah, and on the Karl Gotch side, the only person he ever endorsed learning his style from, if anybody else is making this claim, they're full of shit. I got it on tape, is Fujiwara. And he also said the best athlete that he trained was Minoru Suzuki. So I hope that helps you guys. Jay Espinoza, what's up? What are we talking about today? I'm talking about why entrepreneurship is the driver of economic growth. Why people who run small businesses and take the risk create jobs, innovation, all of that kind of stuff. That's basically what we're talking about. But I'm kind of wrapping up. People are jamming me with questions though. So yeah. Anyway, guys, without any other question, I'm a jet. I got to close these deals. I appreciate you. I will be at GrowthCon next week, so I don't know if I'll be able to podcast much. You guys can check out the replay. I'm on Apple Podcast now. So let's see. La Frangencia 29. I cannot find anywhere to train catch wrestling in New England. Yeah, dude, I'm doing the best I can. What I would recommend is turn any of the better gyms that you know, like MMA gyms or grappling gyms or martial arts gyms or boxing gyms, typically competitive gyms, because what we do is not really, it's to compete. It's for sport. So any sporting gyms, send them to scientificwrestler.com. That's probably the best. Then they can affiliate, get trained up, and then you'll have a gym to go learn the sport. And the thing is like I said, scientific wrestling, there was a reason I didn't call it catch wrestling. And now we are the best place to learn catch wrestling. The only place that's got Billy Robinson training, Karl Gotch training, Wade Chalice training, Dick Cardinal, this very amazing mix of curriculum, the very best. Now, Wade, some people might argue, well, he's not catch wrestling. Well, the pinning, because pinning is a way you can win. So we have Billy on submission, Karl on submission and takedowns, and we have Wade on pinning and takedowns, the very best on the planet, period. But, our aim is big. We do really want to bring back catch-can wrestling. We've been the main driver of this for 20 years, inspired many other groups to do so, which is wonderful. I encourage everybody, whether they're shit talking or not, I don't care. I encourage everybody because that's our mission, is to bring back and prove the viability and the fantastic nature of this sport. But we're not just catch. So, this is interesting because, for example, what I learned from Billy and Carl in stand-up was primarily Greco-Roman wrestling, in particular, their style, that was the technology that they were using in the 50s and 40s, the ideas and the technology and the strategies. Well, we've then married that with a lot of the folk style stuff from Wade Chalice, which is the modern version, amateur catch as catch can. So Emperor Charlemagne jumping in here. Can you talk about Scientific Wrestling member section of the site? What does it entail? Can you stream your instructionals from there? Yeah. So let's say you go and you become a member of Scientific Wrestling. In there, we have, I think, about 85, 90% of all the instructionals that we put out. We got the rights to stream that. So right there, you get a library of incredible, legendary instructionals that are very hard to find and can't find anywhere else. And you can get them on your phone, your tablet, all that kind of stuff, right? In addition, there's a bunch of articles, there's user forums, and then you also get discount. I think you get like a 20% discount on events and whatnot. Now, that's just the base membership, okay? If you're an alumni or a member of the Coaching Catch community, right now we're working on putting in all the curriculum that you need to know. So there will be like an online course inside of scientificwrestling.com for the people in Coaching Catch. So there's like tiers of membership. And then for the affiliates, there's all these other sections in there to help you manage and build your business and things of that nature, and like affiliate business. So I don't know if that helps. Stellar Stevens says, did Billy train a lot with Wade? He did not. He trained zero with Wade. They never even met. But I'm the common denominator between the two. I worked with Billy from the very beginning, January, I think, of 2007 until his passing in beginning of March, into February 2014. And it was very interesting because a month before Billy's passing, I'd already worked with Wade before I'd worked with Billy, I was working with Wade. But when Billy came around, it just took he was in such demand when I was able to market him correctly. It took up all the time. And so I just focused on working with Billy. And I'm glad I did, because I really got to absorb and understand his style. It was like 7 years, like a full-on apprenticeship, like in the medieval guilds, like a 7-year apprenticeship to become a master, right? And so a month before Billy's passing, it was a surprise. I had no idea. Wade called me up and said, man, I really love what you guys are doing, and I'd love to really step up what I've been doing, because we had only done a couple seminars and some of the DVDs. I produced instructionals with him, Killer Cradles and Finisher and whatnot. And it just worked out, man. Like when Billy passed away, I was like, wow, Wade, I don't even know what to do. In fact, I was so distraught because Billy became more like a family member than just a business relationship. I almost quit. I mean, you can ask like Sam Crescent and ask my wife. I almost quit. I was like, dude, I don't want to do this anymore without Billy. Well, Wade really picked up the mantle and really, man, just invested his heart and soul into Scientific Wrestling. And now he's as big of a part of it as Billy was, but they never knew each other. So, was wondering if Billy coached folk style too. Not really. I mean, he'd help people with wrestling because wrestling's wrestling, and he knew pinning and whatnot, but not really, no. Wade has, like, a fuck ton. Emperor Charlemagne, what is the war section of the site? Is it different than the member section? Can I watch? So War Catch Wrestling is a completely different website. That's an online course. So whereas Scientific Wrestling is just the instructionals, like if you went to BJJ Fanatics and got saw an instructional, it's sequential, blah, blah, blah. War Catch Wrestling is an online course. So all the little segments are broken down. It's presented like a course where you have little exams and tests and videos, and it's different. Now it's all of the Billy Robinson material that I ever produced, plus more, from the free stuff you find on YouTube. It's all put together in More Catch Wrestling. That's all Billy Robinson. Scientific Wrestling has all the instructionals. So I don't know if that helps you. You probably honestly need both if you're really wanting to do it online. I would get the Scientific Wrestling membership because you have other instructionals besides Billy. Like you have Carl Gotch's and conditioning for combat sports and all these other materials in there. Hope that makes sense. Emperor Charlemagne says, thank you. Yeah, dude, of course, man. That's what I'm here for. All right, guys. Let's see. Did I miss anybody out here? Oh, Nature Boy. What's up, buddy? Nature Boy says, I had a best of 3 catch wrestling match. I won with 2 pins. Yeah, dude. Good, man. You know, the thing is for the longest time, it's so funny, man. So many people used to shit on me for bringing pins into grappling. Like, really, like worse than the leg locks. And people used to shit on me for talking about leg locks. But like, everybody like, oh, pinning, that's so stupid. And guess what? Everybody is coming around. Like, and it's because the people who are smart realize this. Even the guys like Danaher and all those guys are having to come around to this and even using the language. So now, is it as good as what we do? No. But they're coming around, and I'm glad for that. So congrats on your win, buddy, with pins. I love it. What pin did you use? I'm curious if you're still on there. Stellar Steven says, thanks. Wow, you're welcome, my friend. Hope to see you guys. You guys got to get out to camp. Harry Smith and I, son of the British Bulldog, Davy Boy Smith Jr., Harry Smith. He was there at that first training with me and Billy, and he is a Scientific Wrestling elite coach. And it's going to be him and I over at Brian Ruscio's Grappling Mastery in Orlando on the last weekend of February. Dude, it's coming soon. Stop dicking around, show up, start learning. It's fun. It's a little bit of a grind, but dude, it's nothing you can't handle. If I can handle it, you can handle it, dude. I've done this for 20 years. So come on, man, let's go. I'm a 50-year-old, dude. I know that there's some guys younger than me that should be showing up. Just show up. Show up. You'll be glad that you did. Okay. I appreciate you guys. You can head over to coachingcatch.com. That's the best place to register for that. For the gentleman that wanted to have it come out to him, you're going to want to have your local gym find us at scientificwrestler.com so they can get involved with that. You can see the whole value stack there. I appreciate you guys. If I could be of help to you outside of grappling, of course, that's the point of this business podcast. You guys can just hit me up, no1coaching.com. That also explains the nature of what I do for businesses and how I can help your small business. Guys, I appreciate you. I will be back tomorrow, and I will be back the rest of this week. Nature Boy 10th Planet says, head and arm and north-south pin. Nice, dude. Good job. Good job. So I will be back the rest of this week. Next week, I will be out because I will be at GrowthCon. However, I will be making little appearances. I might jump on real quick just to give you guys a sneak peek of everything that's going on. Red Eagle Wrestler says, hello from Portugal. Yeah, dude, I love it. I hope you are good. I'm going to buy a mace. What weight? What's your advice for beginners? Okay. See, this is how you guys keep me on. Just ask me these questions. So the mace, what I recommend is a 10-kilogram mace. You want to get 10 kilogram. Honestly, I don't think most people need more, and I don't think you need lighter. There might be some lightweights and some women that might want like a 5 kilo or a 7.5 kilo. But I do think the 10 kilo is the best because you're not now there are people who like to go big, and it depends what you're trying to go for. But if you're using it for cross training for wrestling, I love the 10 kilo. Get the longer handle if you can. Like the mace bell is not in production anymore, so those are all. If you have one, dude, those are collector's items. You definitely want to hold on to that. But the best production maces right now, I would say, are the Wolf Brigade mace, although I wish it was a little longer, but I do endorse that mace. That's a great mace. If you go to macebell.com, it'll take you right there. That I consider to be probably the best mace even though the handle could use a little more length. The next best mace, I would say, is the Addicts mace system. I love the length on the handles, and the interchangeable weights is really clever. And then I would say, if you're going to go with on it, get the quad mace because it's long and it's 10 kilo. So I hope that helps. And you want to go start swinging that like your 10 to 2s, and you want to get to about 100 reps of that. All right. Emperor Charlemagne says, I will join as an online member. Thank you. Will be a good start. Yeah, it's cool, man. You'll start learning some stuff. You're going to actually have to get with a partner and start actually wrestling to get a deeper understanding and how it actually works. But you'll get a good conceptual overview from going to the website and studying the instructionals. Red Eagle Wrestler says, thank you very much, sir. Hey, man, have fun, dude. That's the whole reason why I brought it out. It blew my mind when I got my hand on Carl's and it was wood. I was like, okay, this is kind of cool, but yeah, you can't like make a production mace out of wood. I mean, you could, but I didn't have access to that. But I knew the guys making kettlebells in the U.S. back then, Torque Athletic, even though they're defunct. That's why we don't do a production mace. By the way, if you guys know somebody who produces fitness equipment, I am looking for somebody to bring the mace bell back to my specifications. And I do have a couple innovations that I'm holding close to that I'm not letting anybody know about because I have some other ways to improve it that nobody's thought of. And it blows my mind, but they're so obvious. It's so amazing. Anyway, hit me up in the DMs if you know somebody that can help me with that. Brandon Davis, what's up? In catch wrestling matches is to get a pin the same as folk style when the opponent's shoulders are on the mat. A silent 3 count and then fall is called. Listen, the thing about catch wrestling is there's no like authority. The one thing that you could say about catch wrestling is that the pin is always involved. But some catch wrestling had no submissions. Some barred strangles, but had other submissions. Some had barred Nelsons, other barred toe holds. Some had 5 counts. Some had a pin where it's both shoulder blades. Some had a pin where it's both shoulder blades and a hip. And my point here is that the nature and the spirit that I love about catch wrestling is that it's what the rule set that the 2 people agree upon that are going to wrestle and their backers. Okay. So what that means is you could do the silent 3 count just like folk style if you want to, but you want to be smart. You need to make sure that it's relevant for today's age. This is why for me, the rule sets that don't allow chokes are not really relevant because MMA is the biggest driver of interest. And the number 1 submission in MMA is the rear naked choke, right? So we need to keep chokes in. And there are rule set variants. That's why there's guys like Evan Strangler Lewis or records from the old newspapers where Tom Jenkins strangled and won, strangled Frank Gotch, right? So to me, my vision for it, what I'm doing with Shoe Pro Wrestling, what I'm doing with King of Catch, the vision that I worked on with Carl Gotch, nobody else has been able to do that, just me, for the King of Catch rule set and the Shoe Pro rule set. My vision is to essentially take the rule set from modern pro wrestling, which to me is very much a catch wrestling rule set. It's just fake. It's just John Wick. It's fantasy. It's movie. It's theater. I want to take that rule set for professional wrestling and make professional wrestling competitive. A sport, the sport of pro wrestling, not sports entertainment. Sport, something you could bet on because it's on the up and up. That is my vision. That has been what I have pushed for 20 years. The lone guy screaming in the fucking wilderness at the top of my lungs. And now I've finally gathered enough people where we're making this happen. Does that make sense? So this is my very long-winded way of saying, if you want the silent pin, do it, man. Just run your own promotion. The thing is you have to keep the pin. Otherwise, it's just submission grappling. It's not catch. You can call it what you want, but the one common denominator across all of the wrestling that calls itself catch and is derivative of catch is this pin. Well, I mean, there are people that love just the finishing holds. I mean, look at something like a great guy, Eric Paulson, CSW. He doesn't teach pinning. He doesn't. I mean, maybe he does, but I've never seen him really do that. It's not like what he's known for, like say a Wade Schaus. Okay. But he loves like these finishing holds. Same with Gene LaBelle. Gene LaBelle had a lot of judo in his not what you would see from like a Danny Hodge or that kind of wrestling. It was more of a grappling judo style, but he loved to catch wrestling finishing holds. Makes sense. So I mean, catch. You guys know my opinion. Catch as catch can is the most influential, most impactful combat sport martial art in the history of humankind. When you lay out that its derivatives are Olympic wrestling, 118 years of Olympic wrestling, directly due to catch as catch can. They used to call it amateur. All NCAA folk style high school wrestling in the United States, WWE, MMA started with Shudo, Muhammad Ali and Inoki catch wrestling, like Gene LaBelle and Milo Savage, it's how it is, man. It's the impact in terms of the number of people, fans, athletes, coaches, promoters, business people involved. There's never been a bigger sport that's had a bigger impact, period. It's not, I mean, this is like quantifiable. This isn't even really much of a debate. Brandon Davis says, I've just been told the catch is basically college wrestling with submission. I mean, Josh has said that in explaining it, I think, on the Lex Friedman podcast. Josh has been a fantastic guy for getting the word out on big platforms, obviously in competition, but also on these podcasts like Rogan and Lex Friedman. And he's made that example. Yeah. And actually he has a tournament you guys should be getting to in La Brea, California this Sunday. Go find Josh on social media. He has them all posted there on his Instagram, Facebook, all that. He has the links to register. You can go try your hand. And then in Arizona, the King Catch is happening in March. Again, I think they've done it now 5 or 6 times. They're really, Coach Gil Olivas is really just crushing it. So Brandon says, I'm thinking about competing in Josh's tournament. Awesome. I'm just asking, could you run half and pin in a catch match? Yeah. Yes. So the thing I love about catch is that it's a real nice place for badass wrestlers and badass jiu-jitsu guys to come at it. And the thing is let's be real, man. I've gone to a lot of judo tournaments, jiu-jitsu tournaments, grappling tournaments, folk style tournaments. And unless you really know all the fucking nuances of all the points, like back points and tilts and all this shit, it could be boring, or sweeps and all this kind of stuff. It could be boring. But when you just have a simple rule set, like the King of Catch rules and its derivatives, where it's just pin or submit, and it's like a pro wrestling, like a slap on the thing 3 times, it's simple enough that it can become a spectator sport. And the pin forces the action, forces people to expose themselves to other submissions or a simple pin. And, people understand the rules of pro wrestling. It's the longest running TV program in the history of TV, too. You talk about impact. More than NFL, more than NBA, more than soccer or whatever. Like, it's just facts. All right, guys. I'm going to jump. I got to go get my kids here. If you have any questions, this is it. Otherwise, I'm out of here, and you're just going to have to wait till tomorrow. By the way, Brandon, best of luck, dude. Get your friends to go out there, man. Support Josh's tournament. I appreciate that. Guys, I'm out. Appreciate you. Yeah, thanks, guys. Thank you, everybody, in the comments. I will be back tomorrow. So if you have more questions, I'll be talking business, but I'll also talk catch as catch can wrestling with you guys, or fitness and the Mace Bell and that kind of stuff as well. Nature Boy 10th Planet. See you tomorrow, hopefully, buddy. Talk to you soon. Peace out.